on, everybody? This is Economic News Insights, a new channel that's coming back to life where we talk about all things financial markets and economics. Let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin as a reserve currency, possibly replacing gold or the US dollar. Right now, the US dollar is the global reserve currency, gold being the strongest number two. But where does Bitcoin stack up in all of this, and why I have a bull case for Bitcoin long term? I'm going to show you what you need to know about this moving forward, whether you invest in stocks, gold, precious metals, derivatives, bonds. You need to know about Bitcoin. That's what this is for. So the first thing we want to talk about is the Bitcoin price right here. If you ever wanted to get the prices, you go into Coin Market Cap. You got Bitcoin right here sitting at $96,000 per coin. A little bit earlier, about a month ago, it was trading in the low 80s, almost 70s. Actually, it was in the upper 70s. So Bitcoin is a volatile asset, similar to what you would see with stocks in some cases. But Bitcoin has become one of the top market caps in the world right now at $1.9 trillion. Once it goes up above 2 trillion, it starts to compete with Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Google. So take that into consideration when you're maybe having doubts about Bitcoin. Look at the market cap, almost $2 trillion. That's something to consider. Now, one thing I want to say, gold price right now, if we just take a look at gold, okay? So the gold price right now is 3,241 per troy ounce, okay? Per ounce. Now, gold price has been fluctuating. It's been as high as, I want to say, around $3,300 per ounce. If you zoom out on gold, you can get different prices, but it's been up lately. Bitcoin typically follows gold about 3 to 5 months afterwards. That's what we've seen. So gold had its day. Now we'll see if the digital gold, Bitcoin, has its moment. But I want to point something out here about Bitcoin. As we look here at the possibility for a strategic reserve, you can see President Donald Trump signed an executive order establishing strategic Bitcoin reserve, funded by approximately 200,000 Bitcoin seized in criminal and civil cases. A lot of people like to give flack to Bitcoin because they say it's a criminal currency, criminals use it, it's not legitimized. Well, the US government coming out and saying, hey, look, we respect Bitcoin, we're going to create a strategic reserve with the assets that we've seized, that gives it some more legitimacy. The thing is, will the US government actually buy more Bitcoin? 200,000 Bitcoin is still a lot, but there are other countries out there who've done such. El Salvador, they've actually got a holding of 6,100 BTC. Bhutan has $75 million in BTC. Czech Republic, they have a central bank that's considering up to 5% allocation of its reserves. European Union, they've been pretty resistant to including Bitcoin. So you do have some disputes. China's kind of legitimized it. Russia's kind of legitimized it. But the European Union, they're not so, in this case, not so liberal on the subject of modernizing the financial system. But central bank considerations, you've seen this taking place where they're still very optimistic. Swiss National Bank has rejected the idea. Even some of the states have come out talking about possibly buying Bitcoin and adding it to the strategic reserve. If you look right here, race to Bitcoin reserves, which U.S. states are taking the lead? Arizona actually proposed a bill. It just got kicked back. They were about to put 10% allocation. The thing that you need to take into consideration when considering getting into Bitcoin is the thunder in the background. You can hear the stampede coming. It's just the stampede hasn't arrived. So it's like you hear the wildebeest stampede coming. You know it's coming. You got to get ready. And that's where the opportunity comes in for you guys who are new to crypto is, do you hear the stampede? Do you hear the thunder in the distance? You know the storm is coming. Are you in position for when it actually arrives? So we've been in Bitcoin for a long time. A lot of you guys who follow this channel, you know that we've been around since 2015 investing in crypto. And we've seen the evolution. And what we always know is that Bitcoin has always been doubted. People have always considered it the underdog, and it always defied everything. And it continues to grow in adoption. We've got the Bitcoin ETF. We've even got companies like MicroStrategy leading the way. You've got MicroStrategy actually. If you look right here, they're a big stock, right? You know, BlackRock invest, but MicroStrategy is showing people how to add Bitcoin to the balance sheet and then create a stock related to that. And you can see other companies are following suit, which is only going to continue to pump up the price of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy is not the only one. You have MetaPlanet. You could see holds 1,762 Bitcoin worth $165 million. Okay, you've got Kengo, Shanghai-based Kengo. They've got $400 million into purchasing Bitcoin. That's a lot of money. You've got KULR Technology Group. They're coming in. They're located. I think they're Korean. I'm not sure exactly where they're located, but you would think that they would say right here. No, it doesn't say. And then you got Genius Group. They're another one that's got $372 billion worth of Bitcoin, nearly 372 Bitcoin worth nearly 35 million. So you could see as these companies come in, they get more funding, they get more capital, they're going to start investing. You've got Semler Scientific. This is a US based health technology company specializing in diagnostic and monitoring tools. So look at the price of MicroStrategy. If you go there, the stocks it's trading around $260, I believe, per share right now. We don't have the exact price, but you could see right now MicroStrategy paving the way for how to add Bitcoin to the balance sheet. You guys can check the price of MicroStrategy exact on the real time on Yahoo Finance or CNBC. But the main point that you want to walk away from is what is the thunder that's coming in the background. You could see MicroStrategy stock, it has been getting a lot of institutional eyes, right? Wall Street is paying more and more attention to MicroStrategy. You can see on May 1st, MSTR up to 403, is that $403 per coin or per stock? Wow, okay, I thought that was, it was in the 290s. See, so you can see MicroStrategy has been really rising like a rocket lately. They just keep buying more and more coins as time goes by. I mean, Michael Saylor, if you don't already follow him, you should really get behind Michael Saylor and see what he's talking about. That guy's got a really sharp mind talking about the future of digital finance, the use case of Bitcoin as digital gold, talking about the price being as high as $13,000 per coin. Obviously, if that ends up happening, buying at $96,000 is great. I mean, sure, you would have wanted to be one of those people who bought Bitcoin under, I don't know, $100, or in my case, I bought it under $1,000 back in 2015 when I first got into it. And, I only bought one. I wish I bought more, but I thought it was a scam when I first got into it, when I bought it for $600. But I've bought many more since then, and I've accumulated many more since then. Well, not many more, but a few more. A few more Satoshis, a lot more Satoshis, and a few more Bitcoin, I should say. But there's other coins. I would say just stick with Bitcoin. I mean, if you're going to get into crypto, I would say my strategy overall, yeah, I've dabbled in all coins, but if I just went sole Bitcoin the whole way through, I think it would be a lot less problematic. Yeah, it can be fun to invest in altcoins, and sure, we'll talk about altcoins. Maybe 5 to 10% of our allocation will go towards altcoins, but overall, Bitcoin's the big daddy. I call it Bitcoin. That's just what I call it. But you have to take into consideration where this thing's going long term. And one of the things that I would recommend you do, let's just say, what if Bitcoin achieved the same market cap as gold? What would be the price? It's going to be like 650,000 or something like that. So right now, the gold market cap is around 13 trillion, it says here. If you use that math, it gives you a price of around $684,000 per Bitcoin. All it has to do is just catch the current market price of gold. Gold's going to continue to go up, but at some point in time, there's going to be parity between gold and Bitcoin equaling each other's value. Now, parity not necessarily being backed by gold, but the future for Bitcoin does look bright. Now, you have to take into consideration there will be 21 million Bitcoin ever created. Right now, there's about 19 million. So it's going to take a long time for all of the Bitcoin to be fully minted because the hash rate keeps changing. That I believe the next halving is going to be in 2028. We just had a halving in 2024. So things are looking very exciting. Like I said, we've got big news coming. We've got more and more companies looking to copy the MicroStrategy template. We've got more states looking to buy in the US for their strategic reserve. Arizona might have failed the first time, but what do we typically know? If they stick with it, it was like the ETF. BlackRock applied, Gemini applied for ETFs. They got rejected, but what ended up happening? Eventually, they got accepted. So yeah, you got to go through the rejection phase. It's just like anything. You get rejected, and then it goes beyond that, and you get finally approved. So what's going to happen when states start buying Bitcoin? Arizona got that close, got rejected by Katie Hobbs, a Democrat politician in Arizona. And then what happens when they finally get through and it gets approved? Are there going to be more states? Okay, so what's going to happen to the price? Then what happens when more countries jump in? What happens when the US gets even more bullish? This is all going to take place in the next year or so. So it's going to be exciting to watch the price of Bitcoin. People are saying that this summer, headed into fall, is going to be interesting to watch Bitcoin going long term. So, what do you guys project Bitcoin to be in, say, the next 5 years? By the year 2030, where do you think Bitcoin's price will be? The things that do drive the price of Bitcoin, you can also ask ChatGPT if you don't want to deal with the video. But I just asked ChatGPT, what drives the price of Bitcoin? And they're going to say lower interest rates, more speculation, volatile markets. Those are the kind of things. So you have supply and demand halvings. Fixed 21 million creates scarcity. Halvings every 4 years, 2024, 2028, 2032. Demand and adoption, retail and institutional buying, which is what you're seeing with MicroStrategy. Broader adoption, countries, corporations, ETFs drives up prices. We've got the BlackRock ETF. Then you have inflation and fiat currency concerns. There's the conversation about de-dollarization, BRICS. As they go away from the dollar and they go to BRICS, what happens to the global reserve? Is there an ultimate global reserve? Is it still gold? Is it going to be Bitcoin? These are the things that you have to take into consideration. Global economic conditions, bank failures, geopolitical tensions. We see geopolitical tensions with the tariffs. Market sentiment and media hype. I mean, when the frenzy kicks in, we've seen the retail frenzy, but we've not yet seen the institutional frenzy. And you would think that people are trying to get ahead of the curve. That could be you. But what ends up happening is people are always a day late and a dollar short, including many of the institutions, and they get left behind. And then we have regulations and legal status. You have the friendly regulation, and then you have the bans and crackdowns like we see with China or India. Those can trigger sell-offs. So do expect some volatility as we go up. A lot of people today say volatility is actually a blessing in disguise because what ends up happening is it creates opportunities for you to buy in at lower prices. This is what we've typically seen. Institutional activity, BlackRock, just the fact that the largest institution in the world, BlackRock, in terms of assets managed, has Bitcoin ETF, that gives you a clear indication. Many of the people in the current administration are also Bitcoin holders, so that tells you more. Bitcoin ETFs, custodial products, make access easier. If you don't want to buy Bitcoin, you don't want to hold it, you can actually buy MicroStrategy, you can buy Coinbase stock, you can buy iShares Bitcoin ETF by BlackRock. So there's other ways for you to get exposure safer. I would stay away from mining, although some people like to get into mining stocks. It's just that's a little bit more confusing, to be honest with you. But liquidity on exchanges, those can impact if an exchange gets hacked or something. Whale activities, they can manipulate short-term trends. But the thing is, as Bitcoin goes up in price, what's going to happen? There's going to be more stability. We're not going to be able to easily controlled by small-time whales, big-time whales, maybe. But MicroStrategy might be one of the only institutional investors, along with BlackRock, that would be able to move the market in such a way, But BlackRock and MicroStrategy are the biggest holders, I believe, right now. Who holds the most Bitcoin? Let's see. I think it's MicroStrategy and BlackRock right now. This stuff kind of changes with time. Most people would say it's probably the U.S. government or Satoshi, really, but we're not going to get into all that right now. But Satoshi is the largest holder with 1.1 million Bitcoin. Winklevoss twins, they hold about 70,000. Tim Draper, those are individual holders. But corporate holders, you have MicroStrategy, and then you have, well, actually, Strategy is now the name. You have Block One, Tesla. I'm not sure why they didn't put BlackRock on there. Fidelity holds 199,000. BlackRock iShares holds 274,000. Okay, so MicroStrategy is now the largest holder for institutional. U.S. government has 207,000 Bitcoin. China holds 194,000. UK has 61,000. North Korea with Lazarus actually has 13,580. So that's interesting that North Korea is in on it. They've done a few hacks. Anyway, lots to talk about with this. We can continue the conversation. This is just for the people who are new to this channel, who are considering Bitcoin or getting into it. This is what you need to know. Let's just see what this says right here. Satoshi, Grayscale, Binance. Binance is a big holder, actually. But again, this is outdated information. So you can't always trust AI to give you the best information, can you? What do they say here? Binance. Yeah, I mean, the numbers change. MicroStrategy right now appears to be the number one institutional holder. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know if you guys want to talk more crypto. If you guys want to talk more geopolitics, that's what we're looking for. See you on the next one.